Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Pillow Talk Lounge live for quarantine.
Hey guys, welcome to the Pillow Talk Lounge. I'm your host, Miss Kia. And my other two hosts that we have today are
Tierra the Diva. Hello, everyone. I think V's screen is frozen. V, is your screen frozen? V.
Maybe she frozen, but everybody, V, it looks like she frozen, and J to the Lou may not or may be joining us right now. She's on travel. So anyway, we're gonna jump right in. How goes it, Tierra Diva?
I'm coping. I'm coping. I think that right now, realizing some things, especially what's going on in America right now, it's been a super duper eye opener to a lot of people. It's just a matter of where do we go from here? What is the next move? What can we do? What can we do to like really come together as Black people right now?
Right.
There she go.
Okay, it looks like they're trying to make it back in. You in?
I'm in, baby. What's up, y'all? I'm V.
Hey, V.
Hey, V.
So, I was just telling our Pillow Talk Lounge family that J. Lou may or may not be absent today. We're not sure. And we just kind of talking about how everybody is right now. How are you?
I'm pissed, saddened, upset. But yeah, those are the words that describe how I am at the moment.
Yeah, I think we all are.
You have every right to be. I feel like everybody should feel the way they want to feel right now. And so I was listening to the interview. Of course, I'm a Breakfast Club junkie. And Kurt Franklin was on there, right? And they were talking about like forgiveness and stuff, and when it's time to forgive people as Christians. Because, when certain things like happen like this, some of the family members maybe, or offer forgiveness to the person who murdered, the husband of somebody, the parent of somebody. I don't remember exactly what happened with one of the guys who got killed, like the younger brother. He forgave the person who killed his brother and gave him he wanted to hug the lady. Like in the middle of the courtroom. I can't remember exactly what story it was, but he wanted to give her a hug and he was telling her that, he forgives her. But that doesn't work for everybody. You know what I mean? So I feel like you have a right to just be mad. You have a right to be sad, and you have a right to forgive if that's how you want to feel. But I don't think that anybody should feel bad about what they're feeling currently with any of these situations, whether it hits home or it doesn't.
I mean, I feel forgiveness is always great. I'm just not ready to forgive at the moment. That's just me. I down the line, if it's gonna be a while. If there's some change in any regard, it opens up the gates for forgiveness. But I gotta work on that. I'm just not that forgiving, especially so soon, especially with something so horrific.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
I honestly think that that this is something that's just going to be kind of a nightmare for us all. Like when we can't forget, and I mean, even like forgive on it at this time. A lot of us are still very outraged, even though they arrested the other 3 police officers. People are still protesting to this day.
Yeah, and what gets me is they paint us as these crazy Black African American niggers,
animals.
animals.
And hold up, we were called animals by our own kind. Can you believe it? Trina.
And y'all gotta tell me about that because I missed that. But
sure, we're gonna talk about it.
My point is, it's the white people burning this shit down. Did y'all miss that?
Right.
I know,
and wearing masks and disguising themselves, and there's no accountability for that, and it all falls back on us.
Man, I have seen some of the craziest stuff happen. I mean, people are trying to get away with some crazy things. I got a video sent to me of this lady in a wheelchair who was trying to stab people going into the Target that was looting.
In a wheelchair.
And then saying, a white lady. And then saying the black people were trying to attack her.
What?
Yo.
Hold up. How about the Caucasian guy who got out his car and yelled "All Lives Matter" and shot a bow and arrow at the crowd?
Girl.
What?
And then
he got beat up by the Caucasian people who were protesting.
And then the black people beat him up.
He sure did.
I said, what black person do you know carries around a goddamn bow and
arrow?
Where we getting that from?
It's crazy.
These people are crazy.
I mean, I think that people are just finding any excuse to blame African Americans on anything at this point. Anything that they can come up with, they're trying to blame us for it. Like most of these protesters that's breaking stuff is all Caucasian. Say no shade, but they all
stories showing it like right in front of our faces that they're breaking into these places.
Yep.
And then the bad part about it is the black people are following like suit. Like they go right in after them. As soon as they break it, then you see the black people running in. I've seen them like stealing all of the shoes, clothes, and stuff.
Did you see the police officer with the Models bag?
No, I didn't see it.
It was a police officer. They had bags from Models, like they were looting as well. I'm like, seriously? But it's us, right? It's us.
Yo, you gotta laugh to keep from crying because it's just like something that we've never experienced. It's something we've never seen before. This is like, I mean, they have rioted like for years and centuries, but this is just so new during coronavirus. Like it's just so much going on.
Coronavirus where?
Right, girl.
They protesting with no kind of mask, gloves, nothing.
Hey,
Jen.
J-Moo.
She made it.
You came in at the right time, Jay.
All right, hold on. Let me catch my breath.
Hey, Arnisha. What's up, Nish?
Hey, okay. Now I see the comments. Hey, Nish.
What's up,
so we're talking about Black America right now. We were just talking about how some of these rioters have been Caucasian, that have been damaging the buildings, and how we've saw them by video doing a lot of damage and blaming it on African Americans. And we just left off with the cop who was looting Models and had Models bags. I don't believe y'all haven't seen that.
I didn't see that video.
Bags. It wasn't a video. It was a picture.
What I did see was some police officers trying to get involved with the protest and
I did too.
Doing community things like dancing with some of the protesters and things like that. But F that. I ain't interested in that right now.
It's crazy how they depict us. There was one video that I seen where it was a white woman out of a store looting, and the reporter had the nerve to say, well, I hope she works there. I hope she isn't stealing or so.
Yeah, I heard that one too.
Come on now, thinking that she works there. But let it be one of our people saying that they're out there stealing. That commentary.
Oh, that animal again.
The
thugs.
And it's just sad that what is coming down. And then we're not even going to talk about not our president, because my president is going to always be Barack Obama. But the nerve of him to have a photo op, to have those
Girl, I almost died.
The peaceful.
What happened?
He had peaceful.
You didn't hear about that?
Near the White House, and they had escort these peaceful protesters away from for him to have a photo op to hold up a Bible
in front of St. John's Church.
Yep.
Up the Bible and read the words in the Bible ever. And I'm like, that's ridiculous to me. And actually, someone put a split screen of the same picture of Hitler doing the same thing.
Did y'all see the video that they did on him? He was walking up to the church, right, holding a Bible, and then while he held in the Bible, like it burned him. And then he just y'all didn't see that? Somebody did like a what are them things called? I don't know.
A spoof?
I just saw that.
A meme?
When he got in front of the church and he was holding up the Bible to take a picture, he burnt like in flames. And I was like, man.
So can y'all fill me in on the whole Trina controversy? Because I totally missed that.
J-Lu, did you hear about it?
I heard about it, but I didn't hear her.
I heard it.
We heard it. We heard it. So Miss Thang got on her little podcast, morning show, whatever you want to call it. And mind you, a lot of people who know me, I am a Diamond Princess fan.
Girl, bye.
I'm dead serious.
She
Until yesterday. I unfollowed her and everything. She made a comment stating that there are animals in the street looting. Animals. And that they need to be tamed. And that they are messing up businesses because her best friend or one of her quote unquote friends business got ransacked because of the lootering.
She got to be talking about Kim Kardashian.
I don't even think it was Kim because she
Maybe
said
one of
she has a son.
stores.
She was like she has a son at home and she can't afford to hold up her business.
She get insurance. Like she got insurance. She'll get that money back. He tried to save her so many times to shut up.
And Miss Thing was like, I got time today. I was like
y'all
a word
right there. You know how she talk real fast when she mad and stuff.
And a hot mess.
Hot ass mess. She was just shooting shit out her mouth. I was like, this is crazy. I don't know. I just think
I'm gonna
a lot
see
of
if I
people
can find
lost
Trina's
respect
comment
for her, and then
so
the whole cancel culture came in. Y'all know black Twitter cancels people quick. And she still didn't apologize. Like she didn't apologize. She didn't do the crying thing everybody does after they mess up.
For real?
Nothing. Crickets. But what she did do is she went and she argued back with Masika, who called her a coon.
I saw that.
And they were going back and forth on social media.
Yep. Yep. Like instead
Masika
of
called her a coon. Masika, right? What happened?
So I think that was kind of it. Like she was calling her all of these different names that I ain't never heard before. Some type of something bag. I don't know. It was just like she was just talking at her ass for real. And I was just like, I cannot believe Trina. Like, how do you not understand? You know, the worst part about it is when people like come from nothing, you know, and they work so hard to get where they are, they should understand the struggle of their own people too. Like, I feel like she just didn't have no heart. She didn't give two F's about nothing. She was just like, y'all messing up my business. And then she tried to set a curfew. Like everybody needed to be in the house by 6 o'clock. From 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. You shouldn't be doing nothing. So, like nobody should be on the street.
I found the edit. Would y'all like to hear it?
I would absolutely like to hear it. Please. I can't hear it.
Yeah, too. We can't hear it.
Hold on. Let me see if I can turn it up.
Yeah, we still. So. Computer sound on?
Can't hear it. I can't hear anybody. Can you, Jen?
No. Well, you don't. Yeah, we couldn't hear it too.
Okay, so I mean, I'm sorry. I tried to make it work for YouTube, but in so many words, she pretty much saying that the looting and the rioting, the curfew should be 6 p.m. so that people to get these animals off the street. And Trick Daddy asked her, he said, people have been locked up. People have been, and she said, I have too. And he said, people are mad and they angry.
I have to.
Yeah.
I have to. That's what she was doing.
Yeah. She like had a whole attitude through the whole. And,
like, what are you saying? What are you saying?
Right.
I'm still in quarantine.
And she said, my best friend, her shop got ruined and she got a son at home that she got to take care of. And he said, that's what insurance is for. And she's like pretty much saying, forget insurance. Like they messed up my friend's shop. So the thing is, and he said,
been working.
And he said, you taking it personal. And she said, right. I am taking it personal. And it's like, this isn't
you always take things personal.
He did say that.
And he kept trying to like stop her from talking to, so this wouldn't happen. And she was not having it. She was like on fire.
When I tell you, he was trying to play Captain Save-A-Ho so many times, but she was hot. And she was just like, I got time today. Right. And then Masika said all she did on on Twitter. I'm sorry. Said all she said on Twitter. And Trina was coming after her personally instead of addressing the issue that is going on in America right now.
She was talking about her baby daddy, like her father wasn't her. Like it was
and
just
that
so
her brother got
I'm
shot.
Like,
she was like, but my brother got shot. And I'm like, well, what did he get shot for? What was he doing?
And Trick was like, that has nothing to do with what's going on today. Like, you don't have to be so personal, but she just couldn't get aside her personal feelings on what's constantly going on right now.
That's the ignorance and the lack of knowledge and the lack of that is the ignorance that we're talking about, that we have to face amongst some of our own people. They are so ignorant, and instead of seeing the picture, they see something else, and they cannot relate. They can't tie it back. It's crazy.
So 2 other people was in the hot seat. Coach Stormy was in the hot seat, and Tamar almost got the cancel culture on her too, because she accidentally said that she wrote Blue Lives Matter instead of Black Lives Matter. So everybody kind of gave her a pass because it was a typo. And Coach Stormy, Blackout Tuesday, she decided that, hey, she's still gonna write her checks like she losing $100,000 because of this. She's not gonna follow what everybody else is doing with this whole Blackout Tuesday. And I'm like, so you really lost $100,000 because people are standing up for one another and for a good cause and protesting? Like, really, lady? So she was hot. So now everybody's canceling her too. And then saying, like, you don't even own the whole TLC thing. You might be high up there, but you're not the owner. That's a white man who owns that, company. So that's
well,
crazy.
I also wanted to ask Jen. I know that we all had a text message going back and forth earlier this week, Jen, about something that one of your supervisors had mentioned in an email. And I want you to kind of address everyone to tell them how that made you feel and what you did about the situation.
Let me just, it's funny that you said that, because
oh yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah. So basically, you know how everything that happened as far as started this, this weekend with the protests and the riots. And every Monday morning we have around 8:30, we have 2 meetings. We have our staff meeting during Zoom from at 8:30 and at 4:00. So even after this weekend, on my Zoom profile pic, usually I'm never, like, my video is never on when we do these Zoom meetings. Barely anybody's video on. Some teachers have it on, but I always just have a screensaver of just my picture. Well, after this weekend, I had put a picture of, I seen online, it was a post that Black Lives, it said, I still can't breathe. And they had like all these black fists together saying Black Lives Matter, and it had all the names. It had George Floyd, it had Eric Gardner on it. So that was my screensaver for my Zoom. So in our meeting was about 20 minutes, and they talked about school stuff. So I'm just laying there because it's 8:30 in the morning, and I kind of rolled out of bed and had my laptop just up. And I'm like, so are they not going to address what's happening right now? Majority, 90% of our students is African American.
It's black. Yes.
Yeah. Hispanic. And majority of our teachers are African American. So every Sunday during that week, they send out emails to prepare for the week. And the beginning of the email was like, hope you had a great weekend. And I'm looking at this email Sunday night, like, does she not know what was going on this past weekend? She not know as far as emotionally and mentally, physically, as far as us Black people in the community have gone through this past weekend?
Right.
Then she puts out an email around, this was at 8:30 at the meeting, probably like around 10 o'clock in the morning. And
Is she white?
Yes, she is. Then she started, now she addresses our staff with her email, talking about how she had to take a step back away from work so she can have the space to check in with her emotions as well as the emotions of her and tell her white friends to wake up. And basically say, white, she said, I know I'm white and I'm pretty. However she wants to work to make a change and in our community, and everyone processes things differently.
Absolutely.
Community and how, can help move forward, checking in on everyone on a basis. So I and Kia and in her conversation as far as the sex with her husband kind of made me realize, and in a conversation that I had with someone else, it was a reason why this email didn't go through, because I thought I hit send and it was still trash. So
God blocked it.
So I basically said in this email and said, I appreciate, you reaching out to the staff and then your concerns and addressing our emotions. And I said, but I'm, as being transparent, I'm like, I wanted to address my feelings basically at this meeting. And then she had a meeting as far as our team leads to come together to address and express how we feel. And I wasn't going to call out like that in front of everybody, which part of me wanted to just say what just came out my mouth, but then I had to be professional about it. And I just said, I know your intentions were good. However, wording is everything, especially in these times. So stating friends to people in the community is like a line of defense that you understand exactly what we are going through. You do not understand what we are going through. And stating your privilege, that comment was unnecessary. We know you are white. We know you have privilege. So stating that was uncalled for.
Absolutely.
And I felt the way of that whole my Black friends. That's like somebody say, oh, I'm not racist because I got Black friends. What? Like, I really felt the type of way. And like I said, I know she had good intentions, but she should have had somebody edit that email before she sent it. And I felt like and then after that, higher up end up sending an email and everything like that. And then they made a statement in the 4:00 meeting about, addressing it then and now. But my thing is, I felt like it was a reaction. Nothing was proactive. It's because they probably got called out about not speaking about it in the 8:30 meeting, and probably
nor did it sound like it was genuine.
Like,
right.
Yeah, but it is what it is. And like I said, I know they had good intentions, but it just went about it the wrong way. It was like I said, I felt like it was a reaction.
Right.
Yeah. So I felt like what Jen said, what my husband was basically saying is that, they don't have to feel what we feel because they're not from where we're from. Like they don't know our culture, because I get offended real quick. We go
Yeah, you do.
to a diverse church, and I mean every little thing I'm like, oh, did they just say that? And then I'll say something to him, but he was like, you can't really take things personal. And he said, why do you think that I take so much from the platform that I'm in? Is so that I can have a voice to help the Black people who they're not helping. So I was just explaining to Jen, like, as a teacher, you still have the voice right now. Don't compromise your job with this lady and her stupidity, because you still can have, the opportunity to change the kids' life and the way they think, because, with her being a teacher. So sometimes you excuse certain things and certain things can't be excused. So my coworker was telling me that the job that she worked in before she got here, she was kind of like sitting at the table and she heard these white ladies talking, right? But she had her headphones in, so I guess they felt like she couldn't hear them at the time. So they were talking about one of the incidents where, I don't know which one it was, but it was, I can't remember, but one of the ones where a Black person got killed to a police officer or something like that. And she was saying how they need to let that white cop go or whatever, because the person is dead now. Like, what are they going to do? Like, why should he just not have a life now?
A life for a life.
A life in jail, and this person is already gone. I said, when my head would have been like, like a Medusa, I would have like went crazy. I was like, it's good that you didn't say anything, because people really do want to keep their jobs. This is their way of life and how they make a life for themselves or whatever in the living. But certain things you just cannot allow people to say that are white. Like, it's just certain things that you just can't let slide. I'm like, the audacity of them to sit there in front of her and talk about that, regardless if they felt like she was listening or not. But who do you think you are? And who are you? And your opinion doesn't matter. Like, how can you even say that? Why would they lock this person up? He should at least get to live his life. You can't bring the Black person who died back. I was like, man, this is why Black people are out there doing what they're doing now, because of the ignorance of the white people who just don't understand or who just don't care.
Now, I do respect the fact that some of these companies are standing with us. I received several emails.
Me too.
From Marriott is one. Steve Madden Company actually put up the black square for Blackout Tuesday. Founding Farmers, the people, huh?
Y'all see that?
What'd she say?
What she say, Jen?
Netflix comment that they said on Netflix.
I didn't know that they said.
What did they say?
What did they say?
Good. It was basically saying like basically Black Lives Matter. Like, we all for what was going on. Forget what, it was good to see that, like you were saying, other companies, are behind this movement.
Right.
Like,
I have a comment on Facebook that says, from Ayana Sims, my mental state was overwhelmed, but doing good, which means probably with everything going on now that some of the justice has been prevailed, they're doing a little better. And let's not mention, today was the first memorial service for George Floyd, and it was also the trial for Ahmaud Arbery today.
Right.
And the three gentlemen who were involved in the Ahmaud Arbery case were sentenced today. They had more than enough evidence to convict them. So it's justice is being served. At the George Floyd Memorial Service. I can't wait for that either.
Right.
The George Floyd Memorial Service was today, and there were certain celebrities like Kevin Hart, Ludacris, one of his best friends, who was Steven Jackson, if I'm not mistaken. He actually does the podcast with another retired basketball player. So there was a lot going on, and there was a lot of celebrities who were kind of showing their respects to what is going on. I do think, personally, for me, I think the celebrities, because they have a higher platform in America right now, I would like to see more of them kind of say more, stand out, stand up for us, but I just don't see that.
Speaking of celebrities and how people feel, and y'all know how much of a sports person that I am, and
You are the sports junkie.
I love football.
Hi, Mom.
It pained me to see a player that I kind of are even However, there's other players that I respect them as a player and how they play on the field, but to hear the comments of New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees, they would
Yes,
girl.
But I thought he said he didn't say that.
Wait, listen. This is what he said. I will never agree with anyone disrespecting the flag or the for our country. What I see and feel of the flag when the national anthem is being played. I envision my two grandfathers who fought for this country during World War II, both risking their lives to protect our country and to try to make this country
crazy as shit
a better place. So every time my hand over my heart, looking at the flag, that's what I think about. Is everything right with our country right now? No, it's not. We still have a long way to go. But I think what you do by standing there, showing respect to the flag with your hand over your heart, because it shows unity, shows we are all in this together and that we are all part of the solution, end quote. Now, this goes back to Dave because someone asked him about when Colin Kaepernick was kneeling back in 2016 when this happened with Eric Gardner. My thing is, he's in this bubble, and then Malcolm Jenkins, the former, I'm so mad that we let him go. Other teammates, even LeBron James made a comment saying, for people to still feel as though that Kaepernick kneeled because of the flag, you're still not getting it.
This doesn't have anything to do with the flag.
With the flag, if you understand the words of the flag, the words of the whole Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem saying justice for all, he kneeled because we don't have the injustice that our people are going through. And for him to still feel as though that you kneeling is disrespecting the flag, even after Cap said it had nothing to do with, people in our military. Like, I respect the people that fought for our country and everything, but it had nothing to do with the flag.
But did he not forget that there are Black Americans who fought in World War II as well, whose grandfathers was just there, and they still was disrespected? They still couldn't go in any bathroom. They still couldn't drink from any water fountain. They still couldn't go in any restaurant during World War II. Exactly. That's what gets me about these white people. And no offense, this is not because of all white people, because some white people do get it and some do understand. Some do sympathize with us and some do stand up for what is right. And that's justice. That's what we're looking for right now. And I think that Drew Brees, I used to like Drew Brees, but he cut off too. He missed the entire point of what's going on in America right now. It's about getting justice.
It's just, my thing is, go ahead. You have your opinion on stating how you feel, but why would you even verbalize it right now in climate? Like, it was very insensitive to what's going on. Just like he was saying his grandfather, like our ancestors fought in World War II. However, when they came back home, they still, even in like the Revolutionary War and all the Civil War, but when they came back home, they still was in slavery. They still was going through shit. But no, your grandma came back home and was a hero and everything like that. Yet nobody recognized when our people was doing it.
How about our ancestors built the White House?
I was just about to say that. Our very own Capitol. That building is beautiful. That was built by us.
Let's be clear.
Built by us.
Facts.
Hello?
And the thing is, they always like, go back to your homeland. Well, motherfucker, you brought us here on a boat. We could have been there. Y'all brought us over here.
to them.
To them. Because let's be clear, natives own this country. I'm not even going to say Americans. Natives own this country, and this was their land prior to Columbus, quote unquote, discovering this land.
The land.
This land wasn't discovered by them.
Right. And I was telling them, like, they need to change the material.
Is Christopher Biggie. That's the only Christopher I acknowledge.
I just said, like, they need to change the material that they're teaching us in school too, because the only Black person that we really learn about is Martin Luther King. That's it.
Like Rosa Parks.
Oh yeah, we learned a little bit
Martin
about
Luther
Rosa
King.
Parks.
Malcolm X. We learned about Malcolm X.
As an educator.
Barely. We didn't really learn about Malcolm X while we were in school.
I learned about Malcolm X. I learned about Marcus Garvey. I learned about Drew, Dr. Drew, can't remember his last name. The doctor.
Dr. Drew Charles.
The one who discovered the plasma.
Yeah. The only time we learn about majority of these Black folks is when they do like a wax museum in school. So you get to pick for African American. You get to pick who you want to be. You study
and research that person.
We did not really learn about African Americans like that in school.
Well, I mean, let's be clear. I'm 3 years ahead of y'all. So I remember learning about various African Americans going to school. That was from me.
We went to all the same schools.
But I'm telling you what my experience was. But the thing is, but it must have, well, apparently, if I'm telling you I learned, if I told you I learned from other African Americans in school, apparently that means that even though we went to the same school, at least I paid attention to the curriculum. I don't know. I learned about Arthur Ashe. I learned about Madam C.J. Walker.
We learned in school when we were in school. We don't use.
Yeah, we don't.
We should be teaching people about business and real estate and things like that, like stuff we're going to need once we hit the real world.
Shout out to Miss Natalia Jordan. Said my grandfather helped put these sets. I'm sure the steps
at the Lincoln.
The steps at the Lincoln Memorial.
Okay,
absolutely.
I just think that it's something I feel like I need to be doing for the education. This is why I try to in my students, and I feel like most of we talk about all these African American people is during Black History Month.
So let me ask you all, because I know with me, when I went to college, I actually took a African American course. Did you all try to further your education in African American history during your school days?
Did we ever have that in my school?
I mean, I went to it was when I went to HBCU at the time.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Me and Vanessa, we went to St. John's Catholic University, and we was like philosophy.
I have a question now.
We definitely didn't have that.
So Vanessa, you know, we've had these conversations about sending your kids to a particular college. Now, due to everything that's going on, do you change your mind about how you feel about HBCUs?
No. Well.
Come on, Vanessa.
No. This is what I will say. I would not mind my child going to either one, but my preference is still a more diverse school.
You know what I saw? This girl was on I saw something on Facebook today, and she was like, I didn't have to delete all of my white friends off of my Facebook page because I went to a HBCU college, so I'm not dealing with that. So it's like, that's crazy.
I'm just curious to see.
Jen, what do you think about that? Really quickly, if you had to go back and change your experience, would you prefer to go to an HBCU, or would you have preferred to still go to St. John's?
Oh, girl, I applied to HBCUs. I wanted to go to HBCU, but St. John's was giving that more money, so I had to go where that money was in. So
I know that's right.
So you would have moved. So you would have preferred an HBCU over the St. John's experience as well?
Yep.
You should know. You should know what type of person Jen is.
As far as growing up, like I said, majority of the times, like I did learn it in school. However, my parents instilled. My mom, I remember to this day, and I still remember the picture of this book to this day. My mom gave me a book on all African American women. And
I love you, Mom. Love you too much.
push this athlete, first of many. And I'm just reading that book on my own, doing my own research. And I remember in elementary school and in middle school being a part of this Black History contest where, you know, it was like a Jeopardy thing. And I did it every year and I won like every year except for 1 year that I did it. And that was just on my own, studying this sheet of African American, like great and amazing people and the accomplishments that they've gone through because I was so interested in it. I wanted to join a sorority. It wasn't just because it was so popular, but be part of a sisterhood. You know, I'm seeing how my sister was a Kappa sweetheart and all that. But and seeing that around me, yes, I wanted to be at a HBCU, you know, but St. John's was giving me more money on the athletic scholarship. So that's where I went. And everything happens for a reason. You know, I met some amazing people, Vanessa, you guys, you know, so everything happened for a reason, you know.
I think I still. Yeah, okay.
Oh, I just want to ask, like, have y'all ever had like any experience where somebody was being racist toward you? Like stopped by police or somebody said something crazy to you that was a white person or whatever. Like, have y'all ever experienced that?
I mean, if it had been behind me, somebody whispered it, I didn't hear. But as far as I see my friends post stuff and everything, hearing things and videos, but me personally, I've never experienced it. Not to my knowledge.
So I haven't experienced it, but Davon has experienced it. So when we used to live in a different area in Maryland, pretty good area, suburban area, and he was coming from work, and he was pulled over by the police, and they dragged him out of the car and handcuffed him and was searching his vehicle, and he was actually pretty fearful because he was like, I hope they don't try to plant anything in my vehicle. So while he was sitting on the curb, one of my girlfriends was driving by nearby the gas station where he was pulled over, and she was like, I think I just saw Davon. I think you need to come up here. Anyways, make a long story short, Davon was trying to explain that he was also a federal officer at the time and was trying to like show his badge. And the officer, he was white. He was like, that's not a real badge. You're lying. And just pretty much, and we to this day we cannot figure out why he was pulled over because there was nothing wrong. Everything, you know, his registration was fine. He wasn't speeding. And we don't know if he was just kind of profiled or what, but he did experience it. And babe, you remember when you got profiled by the police? Remember when you got profiled by the police?
We have our rights to act when we're being over.
What'd you say, Jen?
Did y'all get a badge number then? Because our rights are, we can ask, what are you pulling me over for?
Davon did. He ended up getting his badge number and filing a complaint and all of that stuff. But just the fact that he had to go through that, he was a little upset because in that moment, there's still a level of respect or calmness that you have to have, you know, because any little thing can go left, right? They can plant something in your car. It can become violent. It's more of a scarier feeling and more of an angry feeling at the time than anything. But afterwards, yeah, he escalated up the chain.
Well, it happened to me twice. When I had my charger and I was coming home and I was by myself, it was late. This police officer, he pulled me over, whatever. He had his gun out and he was yelling at the top of his lungs, put all your windows down, put all your windows down. So I'm scared because I'm like, what the heck is happening? Because I don't even know why he's pulling me over. So I put the windows down. And then he asked me, did I have anything in the car? And I'm like, no, but can you put your gun away? Like, you have your gun up. You're scaring me. He was like, well, you're scaring me, ma'am. Your tints are dark. And
are you serious?
All of that. So I was so mad. And then, you know, he's like, license and registration. And then I'm like, what are you pulling me over for? And then he was like, you were going over the speed limit. And I'm like, no, I wasn't. There's a camera right there. But anyway, needless to say, I gave him everything. Wow. He gave me a warning. So he did all of that with little old me in the car by myself for nothing. And it's literally just because the type of car that you have. That's what it is. It's because of the type of car. And then another time I was with, I don't know, was we together here? I don't know. I was with one of her ex-boyfriends back in the day, and they pulled him over for no reason. They made us sit on the curb outside so they can search his car. And it's literally just because of the type of car that you have. It has nothing to do with anything. They don't even give you a legitimate reason why they're really pulling you over. I feel like they make up something. And then they make you go through all of this craziness just to say, well, we're going to give you a warning. A warning, but what did I do?
Right.
And then they could go about their day. And then you got to think about this shit for weeks.
I mean, I've never been racially profiled, but I've had a lot of things as far as growing up been questioned. Like, because I'm a lighter complexion. I'm a lighter complexion, so I've been asked whether I was all black or was I mixed. I have fairly medium long hair, so I was asked whether it was all mine or not, because they don't know black women who. Yeah, white, Cuban, girl, Dominican.
Oh, don't get to when they touch your hair.
Yes. I don't. I'm like, oh my God! For the life of me, do not touch my hair. Never.
Oh, they must know I'm crazy.
They touch my hair several times, and they say, "What is it?" They always say the same word. I'll think about it in a minute. And your hair is cool.
It's up to
you have cool hair,
right? But to question my ethnicity because I'm a fair skin makes me feel some type of way too. Like it's almost impossible that I can't be all black because I have fair skin or because I have a certain length of hair. It's like almost impossible that no, you got to be mixed with something. What the fuck am I mixed with?
But you know,
I'm about to turn a whole nigga on you.
A lot of us black people do that to each other, though. They like, what do you mix with? Black people do that too.
Yeah. They do.
I mix with black and black. My mom
exactly.
Black. My dad is all the way black. We're black.
My grandmother is black. My grandfather is black. My great grandmother is black. What you want? What you want me to do?
I have gotten that question asking me am I mixed with Asian just because my eyes are pinky.
Like, Asian?
I've heard that before. I heard somebody question somebody else like that too.
I get black. I get Ethiopian a lot. It's the forehead. I don't know what's that. That's from maybe my mother. I don't know.
It's like almost impossible that some people can't be fully black. That's what the thing is. It's almost impossible that we can't be fully black.
Well, guys, it's safe to say they don't ask me any of those questions. They see that I'm black as day, okay, as night.
Well,
you are not hardly.
No, I won't bring that one up. I'll save that for another time.
What?
A video that I saw of this African lady. I mean, she was kirking on the Black Lives Matter.
She really does get it all the time.
Oh my gosh! So she was out there with the protesters. She was yelling at them because she's like, "Black lives don't matter. Black lives don't matter." You don't see Chicago people getting killed? Do you see up the street in Northeast all these people getting killed? Are you yelling Black Lives Matter then? Huh? All of you should be ashamed of yourself. Black lives don't matter. Like she's going off. I mean,
because
yelling.
The people that because I hear people say like y'all do all. Heard people say in videos saying y'all do all this. You know, when a white cop kills a black person. Right. But yet there's always this black on black crime and doing all this. Like that has nothing to do with why we are basically saying Black Lives Matter and the whole thing behind it. And we're tired of the injustice of these cops killing these black men and women and then getting away with it, being acquitted, not even being charged with
and no accountability for their actions. None. Nobody cares because they're black.
That is the whole reason behind this whole Black Lives Matter movement. It has
It's all about having justice.
What we're doing in our own community and this black on black crime. I hate when people bring that up.
I don't like when people say all lives matter. So now I ask people, are you an all lives matter type of person, or are you a Black Lives Matter type of person? Because there is a big difference. We understand that all lives matter, but currently right now, what's happening is to Black people. You're not going to see a white officer kill a white person like that. You're just not going to see that. So I'm like, can you please stop saying all lives matter? We understand that, but right now specifically, it's about Black people.
This is what I also don't get.
Other people, the other lives. It's just pointing out and putting in the forefront of what matters right now is the killing of unarmed Black men and women,
right,
by the hands of these white cops.
Yep.
How about still getting harassed when they get out of the cars and they cooperate? They say, put your hands behind your head, sit on the ground. When they even cooperate with the police, we still don't get justice.
I seen a video today of a police officer in I forgot what state it was, that also put their knee on a Black person's neck. Did anybody else see that? I seen it on CNN.
Well, I saw one. They did that. Was that the same one where the other cop had moved the leg, like moved his knee? Like it was one where it was a protester and he put his knee down. I think it was an Hispanic guy, and then the other officer that was trying to.
I think I've seen that one, Jen.
There's
so many videos
that are popping up now.
Yes, this is crazy.
How about, did y'all hear about the gentleman who was killed in Tallahassee, Florida during this protest by a cop?
Oh, did y'all hear about the guy? No, I have not heard that. But did y'all hear about the guy? I want to say he's from this area. Damn, my phone's dead. He they took a I don't know if it was a baton or what they did, and they hit him upside the back of his head and they busted his head open in DC. He was protesting. Dang, Kia, I'm gonna send it to you. And he was protesting and had blood dripping all down his face. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna send it to you, Kia. But yeah,
there's a lot of videos. Like it was another video that I was seeing. I know, like this video, but the guy, he was driving, right? But the police officer was asking for his registration and stuff, but it was in like the glove compartment. So he had his hands up. He's like, I'm not putting my hands down. And he was like, soon as I put my hands down to go try to get it, you're going to shoot me. And that's what they do. They wait for you to try to reach and get something. Then they're like, oh, you got a gun, you got a gun. So it's just a way of shooting him. I'm telling you, he did not move his hands. But when they got him out the car, I mean, they messed him up so bad. Just because he wouldn't reach and get his registration because he felt like they were going to shoot him. And they probably were. Like, let's be honest.
He had a heart attack.
Y'all didn't see, this is my last.
Had a heart attack.
Y'all didn't see the two young kids, I think out of Atlanta, Georgia. It was a boy and a girl. They were in a car riding through a protest. One went to Morehouse. Good kids. Good kids. And they, what is it? Tasered them, y'all. Tasered them because they thought that they did something that they had nothing to do with.
Right.
Did y'all see that?
It said that
I saw that one.
The curfew was 9:00 in Atlanta, and it was like 9:10 or something like that. Yet I'm looking at the car in front of them, and they're not doing nothing to the car as they're driving by. And she's like, "Yo, what's going on?" They was trying to go home.
So I don't know if you all have TikTok, but there have been a lot of videos on TikTok that have surfaced about certain crimes. There was a video that I seen where this white woman was sitting next to her Black friend on the ground outside protesting. And the officer asked them to get up, both of them. Now, what they do with the white woman, they push her aside. What they do with the Black woman, they pushed her on the ground and arrested her. But they were doing the exact same thing right next to each other at the exact same time.
That's what they were talking about with George Floyd. One of the guys who, I guess he must have got the police called on him as well for the counterfeit $20 bill. And they said he didn't. I don't know if they said that they put him in handcuffs or something, but they didn't do to him what they did to George Floyd, but the same thing happened on both of them. And the owner was saying that if he was there, then that wouldn't have happened because George Floyd comes in there all the time.
He's been working there forever.
Can you imagine how the person feels who called the damn police over a counterfeit bill?
The joint is, that's talking about George Floyd, right? And it was real. It wasn't even a counterfeit.
I'm like, they don't have the damn pens. I remember like a couple weeks ago, somebody used a pen on my $10 bill. I was just looking
like, come on, everybody has the pen now.
But he lost his life for something that was a false accusation. And he wasn't armed. And he wasn't a threat.
What was really sad was I actually seen other videos I seen. It was different angles when he was pulling him out the car, wrestling with him, putting him down.
Yeah.
This video I seen today, Terrence J ended up posting. Was someone that actually, this was a white woman and it was a black guy actually close up on the car and seeing him. And they're like, yo, he's not moving anymore. Why do you still have your knee? And he's not moving anymore. Like, you see him at this moment. His body is lifeless. I'm looking at this video today. This is an up-close video of the last moments of his life. And the white woman, they're just telling him, that's when I guess he looked the Asian cop. He looked the short Asian cop that was standing there. He's telling the white woman, get back on the sidewalk. She was like, I am. He's like, don't put your hands on me. I'm not doing anything I'm not supposed to be doing. And they're saying like, yo, he's not breathing. Check his pulse. They're like, check his pulse. Then he still has his knee on his neck. George Floyd is not moving at all, guys. You can see it in, like, his body was lifeless. And I'm sitting there crying as I'm watching this video because then EMTs come, somebody checks his pulse. The cop still has his knee in his neck.
Yes!
As he's checking his pulse and not doing anything about it. As an EMT person, you're not like, yo, off of him. That's how I almost feel like was doing after that. For 8.5 minutes, he lied there, restless, fight. It's just, it's sick. And I feel like the blank expression on the cop's face and with his hands in his pocket, I was like, man.
And they bumped that second-degree murder instead of third degree.
Right. Now, I know 3 out of 4 of us don't have kids. Vanessa, you have 2 sons. What do you feel like you tell them at a time like this in America?
And a brother. And a brother,
absolutely. And a husband. So
I have been... Oh, go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
I was just saying, as a mom and a sister, and you take care of your brother and you take care of your sons, what do you tell your children and your brother at a time like this about Black America?
Well, the youngest, I tell nothing yet, just because he can't comprehend what's going on. But right. DJ and Cassidy, even though she's a girl, and Nathan, I always tell them to stay socially conscious, like always be aware of your Blackness, always be proud of your Blackness, and know what's going on around you, right? So when you see things on social media that are wrong, speak out against it. Don't be afraid to use your voice. And I always tell them, while they're on social media posting random things, also post things that matter and that are important and that represent you positively. And like I said, when you see things that are misrepresented, speak out about it. I have told them they are very aware of not only the George Floyd, the unfortunate situation of George Floyd, but just the racism that us Black people face in America now and back then. And, you know, I've tried to answer as many questions as to why it's like that, why they treat us like that, why does it matter if we're Black, the best way that I think I can. And I find myself just coming up with the answer that there really is any reason. There really isn't any reason. I just think that they are really intimidated by Black people. And I mean, that's it. But yeah, I just try to tell them to use their voice and know and be aware of their Blackness and be proud of it and speak out about anything that they see that's wrong. So, and I always tell Nathan, especially my brother who's 18 and driving, I always tell him, be careful. Every time he leaves his house, just be careful. Don't have a lot of people in your car. Take your time when you driving, like, because you just never know how you can be profiled, and just always try to do the right thing. So yeah.
It's just sad that, you know, as African Americans, we have to have that conversation with our, you know, our young black men, boys, that I'm scared to, I'm scared to much I want to, but I do am afraid of bringing life into this world because of what's going on, you know. Um, but it's just sad that we have to have that conversation on when you're out with your friends, walking in the neighborhood and minding your business and not doing anything. But when you're in the car, this is what you should do. Get pulled over. This is how you need to act. This is how you need to compose yourself. Like, the fact that we are still having these conversations, the fact that we are still saying Black Lives Matter is a problem.
I had a just really quickly. I had a You guys remember when the Central Park 5 show documentary came out on Netflix, and I had a conversation with DJ Cassidy and Nathan, and I gave all of them scenarios. Hey, sorry guys. I said, hey, hypothetically, if this happened, how would you handle it? So meaning you're in a park, the cops, similar to what happened in Central 5, and I asked them how would they handle it. And the only person that got the answer right was Nathan, was the oldest. DJ and Cassidy, my two middle kids, had no idea how to handle that. They were scared. So it's easy for cops to intimidate our youth because they really don't know how to handle certain situations. They don't know that if you're a minor, you don't have to say anything to the police. You need to ask for your parents, right? Nathan, my brother, didn't know that when he's 18 to make sure that he asks for an attorney, especially if he's being accused for something that he didn't do. Like, just like the little basic things, they didn't know. And so we constantly have those conversations with them because you just never know, and you don't want to be in a situation where you're being interrogated and you don't have your parents around, right? Or you don't ask for an attorney and you get in a situation like what happened to the Central 5 gentleman. So yeah, it's just crazy.
That's something that you can't watch again. After I watched When They See Us that one time, I mean, I bawled just crying.
Yeah.
And especially at Corey's story. And it's not something you can just go back and watch again. Like, I couldn't watch that again. It's so terrifying. I don't know.
Vote for change. My thing is, it's the states that have voting that I hope that people went out and vote. And I know around the time people was out protesting the preliminaries, but I hope people take this, and when it come down to it in November, that go out and vote, because people out there saying, man, you know, I'm not even voting. But to me, no vote is a vote for Trump. That's how I look. So I hope people will go out there and continue to vote to change what is happening locally, statewide, and like he said, federal, you know. So voting is important. So go out there and vote, please.
Right.
And you know, at this point, I truly don't even care who is in office. I have to be completely honest with you guys. I just need Trump out of office. And I know that sounds a little careless, but I think anybody at this point would be better than Trump. And we just need to get him out of office. That's my biggest thing. I mean, of course, we don't want another Trump, but we definitely need to push him out.
Well, yeah, he's going for the Republican because he only did 4 years. So, yeah,
I don't even know how the hell he got there.
Because I feel like people just didn't want to vote. I'm like, the same numbers that we did when Obama went into office, I feel that was most that in our community had went out there and vote. Y'all need to be the same people going out there voting now, regardless if you don't like the Democratic Party. Look, if you feel as though they both evil, well, the lesser of the two evils will be the other party.
Yeah.
So we need to get Trump out. Like, he's trying to declare a civil war right now. Like,
Yeah. So
Trump
everyone,
gotta go.
well, we all know that.
Mhm.
But again, this conversation was not just for us to express how we feel about what's going on, but it was an eye opener to let people know and show that our audience feels in some type of way too. We do thank you all for tuning in, and we know that a lot of us are sad, angry. I can't tell you how many times I've shed tears throughout this time right now because all I can think about is me having a father, two fathers, me having two brothers, me having cousins, me having a nephew at 5 years old. And it's just one of those things where you have to take a moment and think about your family at this time
Well,
and what
everybody
they've
I
gone
know
through.
around us, from father to my husband to both brothers to cousins, they've all been racially profiled. I was on the phone
Absolutely.
with my husband when it happened to him.
Absolutely.
Like, it's got to stop.
It's got to stop.
Like,
So ladies,
and before we go, I think that a lot of things start in the home. So, kudos to you, Vanessa, that you're teaching your kids these things because everybody doesn't care enough to sit down with their kids and have these conversations. But, a lot of this stuff starts with the home and what you teach your kids and what they're listening to. You have to kind of pay attention to that because social media instantly gets a hold of your children and now they're raising your kids when they should be hearing these conversations from you directly. So, I just appreciate the parents who are talking about it, who are, keeping the kids informed, and hopefully, change will come.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, we are over our mark. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today to the Pillow Talk Lounge. Ladies, do you all have any last remarks? Do you want to give us a status on your mental state right now?
I'm still angry.
like I'm just frustrated. I'm drained. I'm just on an emotional roller coaster. However, the thing that trying to do with everything is prayer, meditating
Yeah.
more, checking up on my family and friends. Just a lot of meditating and prayer, reading my Bible, getting into my word, knowing that we gonna see a change.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I try not to let the anger get the best of me, but it's a different story every day. So prayer, like Jen said, I could pray my way out of anything. Like literally, I'll sit and pray until I feel better. So hopefully that brings some type of comfort to, the people who are currently going through.
As I stated before, I cried a few times during this moment and during a pandemic at that, because you can't help but take heed to the ones that are around you at this time. I want everybody to keep in prayer. Any differences that you can make them because we need them. J. Lou, you are a teacher. Please keep educating your children. Vanessa, you are a mom. Please keep teaching your kids about their blackness and how beautiful it is. My sister, you have a husband who is a preacher. Stand by your man. And as for everyone, I am here to support you in any way, shape, or form. I'm truly there for you. Guess this wraps up our episode of
And
Pillow
one
Talk Lounge.
last thing before we
Okay.
go, for the Black community, it's okay to seek therapy. It's okay to speak to
Absolutely.
somebody. A lot of us need it, especially during this time, to recharge ourselves. Some people are holding a lot of things in that they need to release. So please, it's okay if you need to seek other counsel.
Absolutely.
So we should look into that. But y'all, we're gonna wrap it up on a higher note. This has been very sad. We're angry, but we're still happy. We're breathing. God has woke us up this morning. We have another chance at life. So let's keep fighting. And we love everybody. And thanks for listening to the Pillow Talk Lounge.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, y'all.